Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Layout to Lineside. Today is part 2 of the Kernow Model Railway Centre in-store Guildford event for 2026, and before we get in I thought I'd run my Helgen AEC rail car which I showed off at the end of the last video. If you haven't seen that video then I'd recommend you hit the link on screen now, because that's where I show off all the samples from Hornby and Bachmann. In this video I'm going to show off all the samples from Rapido and Dapol. So with that, let's get into it, because there was loads to see and it was brilliant. So, things got off to a brilliant start with Rapido because they were displaying samples for their upcoming N-Class. And as a modeler who really likes southern stuff, this was quite exciting to see. As you can see, these look like they're going to be hyper detailed, with metal boilers, running plates and fireboxes. The tender looks good as well. And I think that provided these are fairly easy to access for maintenance, these should be brilliant models. So another new engineering sample from Rapido was their LNER D40s. Again, these look brilliant. Like the N-Class, they look like they're going to be superbly detailed. A lot more of the body looks like it's going to be plastic here. Hopefully this shouldn't really affect the end product too much, so given that this should have a nice weighty chassis anyway. Again, I think this will be another brilliant model once it's fully decorated. They were also displaying decorated samples of their upcoming Midland 2P, and these just looked wonderful. The level of detail and the deliveries on these just looked brilliant. And then they also had an engineering sample for their upcoming C12 on display. Likewise, they were also displaying decorated samples for their upcoming S160s and Caledonian Railway 123s, and these looked brilliant and they're done up to the normal standard which you would expect from Rapido. They were also displaying decorated samples of their Ivory engine train pack. And obviously this is a novelty item, but for a novelty item, the models are actually quite nicely detailed, and I think it will make a very nice addition to a lot of people's collections. The livery on these also actually looks very good. Again, bear in mind this is a novelty item, I think it's been completed to quite a high standard. Moving on, they also had a plethora of rolling stock on display. So, starting off, they had the Great Central Railway 15-ton brake vans on display. These were decorated samples and they looked brilliant. They also had two types of box van on display. So, firstly, they had their LMS 12-ton box vans on display, and though the delivery application on these obviously is fairly basic, it looked well done and the detail level looks pretty decent. They also had some sort of fish van on display. Again, nice livery application, nice detailing, but I'm not actually completely sure which ones these are. I have checked the website, but I don't know. And finally, they were displaying samples for their upcoming ammonium nitrate tank wagons. And, I mean, what else can I say? The prototypes to these models look weird, and the models themselves also look weird. Yeah, but in all seriousness, the level of detail here looks good, and the decoration looks brilliant. So yeah, these may be weird, but I think they're also going to be good models. So, whilst Dapol weren't actually at the event themselves, they did have a couple of samples there. So, to start off with, they had their 1400 samples on display, and yeah, these look brilliant. I think a replacement for the old Hornby Railroad models was well overdue, and this should be the perfect model for it. So the detailing and the decoration just looks brilliant, and if these run as well as the 517s did, I don't have one, but looking online, everyone seems to be happy. There don't seem to be any issues. Yeah, if they're as good as those, these should be the ultimate model of a 1400 in double O gauge. Finally, they were displaying decorated samples for their upcoming 2800. Like the 1400, these look like they're going to be brilliant models. Not only does the detailing and livery look brilliant, but the metalwork also looks really good. That can be a little hit and miss on some models, but I think Dapol usually get this right. And as you can see, there's even detail in the frame. No, between the frames, which has been picked out. So yeah, this looks brilliant, and these should be great models once they've arrived. And with that will be the end of this two-part series on the Kernow Model Railway Centre in-store Guildford event for 2026. If you've enjoyed this, please consider subscribing for more trains content. It really helps the channel to grow, and I'll also be visiting more heritage railways over the summer. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.